Hare Krishna friends, welcome back to our Astro classes. Today I would be discussing a horoscope of a lady who has been involved in an extramarital affair, and I will tell you a few combinations in the horoscope that how to find out that how this yoga is formed in the horoscope and how to find out this yoga in the horoscope. But please, before I start this video, please like my channel, subscribe my channel and share my channel as much as possible. And guys, this will help you out to understand. As I always say, that please don't take it otherwise, because each one of us has a different horoscope and we have a different placements of the planets in the horoscope. So please, that is different altogether. We have a different approach, different aspects in the life as well. So please, through this channel, I just would like to make you understand how to find out the extramarital affair in the horoscope. So now I'm discussing a horoscope. You can see that this lady was born in Libra Ascendant and the Lagna is Libra, and she has Sun, Mercury and Jupiter happen to be in Libra sign in the first house. Saturn happens to be in Scorpio sign. Moon happens to be in the Sagittarius sign. Pisces sign Ketu. And Mars happens to be in the Taurus sign. And Venus and Rahu happens to be in the Virgo sign. She was extremely beautiful lady working in a bank, and she got married at the age of 30. And you can see that Rahu-Venus combination in the 12th house. And you can see that in the chart afflicted 8th house forced her in a relationship with another man. Since I have got to know that Venus was in the star of Mars. Now you can see that a few combinations in the chart, and it will be quite possible to just find out this extramarital affair in the horoscope. As I just told you in my previous webcast, that 3rd house, 7th house and the 11th house deals with your sexual urge. 3rd house, 7th house and the 11th house. These three houses are calm houses. These three houses are the houses of sexual activities. 8th house also is the house of sexual activities. Reason being because in a Kalpurush horoscope, 8th house deals with all sexual activities, all the secret affairs, all the secret relationships, and the relationships that cannot be revealed in the society. So you can see that Lord of the first house is Venus, happens to be in the 12th house, and the Lord of the first house, Venus, happens to be in the debilitated sign in the 12th house. And you can see an exchange in between first house and the 12th house. The entire energy of the first house goes in the 12th house, and the entire energy of the 12th house goes into the first house. If there is any connection in between these two houses, because 12th house is the house of bed pleasure, 12th house is the house of isolation, 12th house is the house of final confinement. 12th house is not always as bad as people think of, because I think so 12th house is benefic house too. It is not as bad as people think of, because 12th house is the final confinement, that how do you feel, because 12th house is the house of hospitalization. It's a house of jail, is the house of final what I can say is how your body gets liberated. That is the 12th house. So 12th house is not always bad, but 12th house deals with your sexual thoughts, because 12th house is bad. 12th house is the bed pleasure. So as I told you that ascendant is the house, or ascendant means that your body, your mind, your soul and your final disposition, where will you be inclined towards in your life, that is your ascendant. And wherever ascendant lord happens to be, suppose if the ascendant lord happens to be in the 2nd house, so person would be inclined towards wealth. He would always be thinking of that how to make money. If the ascendant lord happens to be in the 9th house, so the person would always be influenced by father, because 9th house deals with the father. If the ascendant lord happens to be in the 12th house, so person would always be influenced uh, with the sexual thoughts. He would always have sexual thoughts in his mind. But and one more thing, I would just not hesitate to let you know that even the dasha should also be there. We cannot only say that without being sure. If people have ascendant lord in the 12th house, then they may have such issues or they may have some sexual thoughts in their mind. No guys, this is not the case. But if lord of the first house goes into the 12th house, and suppose if there is a major dasha of malefic planet, like there is a major dasha of Rahu, major dasha of Saturn, major dasha of Mars, or any malefic like Ketu, any malefic planet dasha is just going on, then these results can be seen or can be experienced in native's life. So in this horoscope, ascendant lord happens to be in the 12th house, which is debilitated. That means ascendant lord is debilitated in the 12th house, and Venus is quite happy in the 12th house. Whether it's exalted, whether it's debilitated in the 12th house, but yes, Venus is exalted in the 12th house, then it gives good results, and Venus gets debilitated, then it gives the different results in that chart. So in this horoscope, ascendant lord in the 12th house, which is debilitated with Rahu, and Rahu is a natural significator of cheating. Rahu indicates a lot of cheating. Rahu indicates a lot of sufferings in life. That is only the reason this lady has no control over herself, right? So Rahu does not indicate that proper results where you just can find out that you cannot do such bad things in your life. But I have told you, and I have already explained in my previous webcast, if there is any connection in between Rahu and Venus in the horoscope, whether it's a mutual aspect where there is a, when they are aspecting each other, when they happen to be in the nakshatra of suppose if Rahu happen to be in the Venus nakshatra or Venus happens to be in the Rahu nakshatra, so that also increases the chance of extramarital affair. This lady has Rahu Venus combination in the 12th house, which indicates that she may be involved in extramarital affairs. One more thing I can see in the chart, that she has a Libra ascendant and she was born in Swati nakshatra, because Lagna happens to be in the Swati nakshatra, which is Rahu's nakshatra, and moon happens to be in Mool nakshatra. Mool nakshatra belongs to Ketu, and Mool nakshatra means self-destruction, self-destructive qualities, because Mool represents the root of anything, the cause of the root of anything, whether it's a self-destruction or whether it's a part of like self-discipline, or whether you can say that the person would be going towards spiritualization, and the person would be just always going ahead in his life to achieve the final spiritual growth, spiritual advancement. Mool nakshatra can give you any kind of results. It depends on the planet's tendency. So moon is mind. Moon is naturally significator of your mind, how you are stable in your life. So moon happens to be in the Ketu's nakshatra. Again, it gives disturbances in mind. One more thing you can see in this chart is Mars is retrograde. The lord of the 7th house is retrograde. Mercury is almost combust, but Mercury does not get the dosh of combust because it always happens to be with the sun, or either first house or the next house to sun. And then we see Jupiter in Swati nakshatra, Mercury in Swati nakshatra, and Mercury and Jupiter in Swati nakshatra. Venus is combust and happens to be in Chitra nakshatra. You can see that Venus in Chitra nakshatra. Venus happens to be debilitated and happens to be in the nakshatra of Mars. So if Venus is connected with the Mars, so Venus is just going to change the energy. Venus is very passionate when happens to be in the Mars nakshatra, because Mars is very aggressive planet. Mars has a different kind of process to give the results when it happens to be in the Venus nakshatra or when it happens to be with the Venus. So that's why it is very important, and that is why Venus Mars combination has been paid all importance for sexual relationships and extramarital affairs. So in this horoscope, I can see that the combination of Sun and the combination of Rahu and Venus in the chart. And you can see one more thing which is very interesting is Rahu is aspecting the fourth house, Saturn is aspecting the fourth house, and one more thing you can see that if there is a malefic afflictions on the fourth house, reason being because fourth house deals with your nurturing environment, fourth house deals with your heart, fourth house deals with your pure heart, your mind. How does your mind react when you just go through the malefic planets dasha in your life? So people who have a malefic dasha in their life, they get attracted easily towards opposite gender. They have no control over their mind and they will always be inclined towards opposite gender. So she has Rahu's aspect on the fourth house and Saturn aspect on the fourth house, which is again is not a very good sign. And one more thing you can see that she has this, you see the 8th house. 8th house is the house of sexual activities, all the sexual activities. See, for 3rd house, 7th house and the 11th house, these are the calm house, these are the calm houses, right? These 3 houses have to do everything with your sexual activities. And if these 3 houses have any connection with the ascendant, then the person would always have high sexual urge. So you see, first and the most important thing is that Lord of the 3rd house is Jupiter, Lord of the 12th house is Mercury, happen to be in the ascendant, and Lord of the 11th house is also happens to be in the 1st house. So the 3rd house, the 11th house and the 12th house happen to be in the 1st house. That means 2 calm house, that means 3rd house and the 11th house Lord happen to be in the 1st house, and Lord of the 12th house also happens to be in the 1st house. So if there is any connection in between 11th and 12th, and if there is any connection in between 3rd and 12th, and if there is any connection in between 3rd and 11th, so the person would be always wandering from one place to another place. He does not get respect, he does not get anything in his own family, and that's why he's seeking more relationships. He's searching for more relationships to enjoy his life. And to be very frank, I must tell you, she is a very beautiful lady. She works in a bank, but due to the high sexual urge, this lady goes out of enjoy her life. Rahu believes in free sex. Since I told you that Rahu is a planet of Western culture, Rahu denotes the Western culture, Rahu denotes the Western form to enjoy each and everything in life. So those who have a Rahu-Venus combination, these people always feel free to have many relationships in their life. These people are very practical, not practical, but now in India you see, if a lady has more male friends, so you would not consider that lady as a good lady. So that is what Rahu does with Venus. And Venus is all about sensual pleasure, and Rahu provokes Venus to get into such kind of relationships. And there is a malefic affliction of Saturn on the 4th house. There is an aspect of Rahu on the 4th house. And the most important thing is that she has Mars in the 8th house. She has Mars in the 8th house. Lord of the 7th house, although is second from 7th, but if Lord of the 7th house happens to be in the 6th house, 8th house or 12th house, then there is a chance that native or the person might get attracted towards other or opposite gender. There is a chance that there will be marital discord in native's life. There will be lot of issues in native's life, and there will be lot of issues in his or her married life. You see the Lord of the 7th house in the 8th house, and Lord of the 7th house is being aspected by Saturn and Rahu. You can see that Saturn is aspecting 8th house from the 2nd house, Rahu is aspecting Mars from the 12th house. So that properly that indicates that she is totally confused about herself, and she may have multiple relationships even after getting married. You see, moon is hemmed in between malefic planets. There are Saturn and Ketu happen to be. Uh, and you can see that one more thing which is very important to be discussed is when moon is highly afflicted by the malefic planets, or when moon is highly, moon is hemmed in between malefic planets, right? In the both the sides of moon, you can see Saturn in the second house and Ketu in the sixth house. So the chances of moon would be very, it would be very difficult to control the moon, because moon is your mind. In thousands of horoscopes I have seen, when moon is quite disturbed, you cannot judge the person easily. You cannot see any result, or you cannot find out any result that what kind of results moon is going to give that person. The people who have weak moon in the horoscope, they can be always disturbed, and they will feel always that they have nothing to do in their life, and they will be seeking for the sexual pleasure in their life, because moon is mind. Those who have a strong moon in their horoscope and should not be afflicted by the malefics, they always have a control. And Jupiter should also be very strong in the chart. See, if a lady has a strong Jupiter in the chart, then she may have a very strong character in the horoscope. She may not talk to anybody else, or she will be very obedient to her husband, and she will have a very strong character in the horoscope. We can see, or we can find out that. But in this chart, we don't see anything which is positive in the chart. Jupiter happens to be in the Swati nakshatra, which is again a bad placement. Mars happened to be in Kritika nakshatra, in the Sun nakshatra. That's okay, there is no problem in that. And Mercury happens to be in the Swati nakshatra. As I told you in my previous webcast, that when Rahu happens to be, or when Mercury happens to be in the constellation of Rahu, it makes the person very sharp mind. Okay, it makes the person very intelligent, because Rahu is a natural significator of intelligence. Rahu gives you the intelligence, and Rahu gives you always an art of changing the things. Rahu works at a very extreme level. So this lady has Rahu, this lady has Mercury in the Rahu nakshatra, in Rahu's constellation, Swati constellation. Swati means what? The person is very active, and that's why the person had chosen the job in banking sector, because Mercury happens to be in the ascendant with Sun, right? And Lord of the sixth house also happens to be in the ascendant, and which is Jupiter. So quite a strong position of sixth lord in the first house. And the native works in the banking sector when Mercury has any connection with the Jupiter, or when Mercury has any connection with the Sun. So it's a good placement. The person is financially strong, the person is very good. But when it comes to the character, so there is some negative yogas or combinations I have found in this horoscope. And one more thing, you can see that Saturn again happens to be in Jyeshtha nakshatra, which is Mercury's nakshatra, and Mercury again becomes the lord of the 12th house. So you can see that Saturn also becomes Saturn in this horoscope becomes the lord of the 4th house and the 5th house. And if the 4th house has any connection with the 12th house, 5th house any connection with the 12th house, so the native's mind is always sinking in dig deep, and he's or she is not comfortable with her own family members, because 12th house is the house of sexual thoughts. Whatever happens, whatever comes in your mind, it has to come through the thoughts. If you have pure thoughts, if you have good thoughts, then your life will be very good. If you have bad thoughts, if your thoughts are wrong, if you have evil thoughts in your mind, then you would be doing evil deeds in life. This lady has evil thoughts always in her mind, Although she got married and she has a very handsome husband, and she has got everything in her life, she has all the facilities in her life, but you see that 12th house, 8th house, 3rd house and the 11th house have been involved with each other. That's the only reason. And the one of the most important house, which is 8th house, is afflicted by the malefic planets. There is an aspect of Saturn and Rahu on the 8th house. Mars itself sitting in the 8th house actually is forcing her to enjoy extramarital affair, to just go through some research. And these kind of people are always confused. They jump from one to another relationship because they don't get satisfaction in their life. They don't have such kind of intentions that they have been rejected by their husbands, or they don't get love from their life partners. No, that's not the case in this horoscope. Since I've told you that Venus Rahu combinations makes one free to enjoy the life the way she wants. That's why I have seen in the lot of horoscopes, even there is a horoscope, that lady was from Australia, I had seen her horoscope. She had Venus Rahu combination in the 8th house with Mercury, and that lady had multiple relationships. She just said herself that she had multiple relationships. So it is very important to see before getting married. You just need to see the chart. You need to find out some combinations in the chart, because after getting married people suffer a lot. And she has a very good husband, and I have seen his horoscope also. That guy was awesome, and I did not find any malefic afflictions. I did not find anything else wrong in that horoscope, and he had a strong character. But this lady is just spoiling the life of her life partner, and that person tried a lot of time to give divorce, but divorce cannot also happen. Reason being, because Jupiter is aspecting the 7th house. When Jupiter aspect the 7th house, divorce won't happen. I'm just trying to make you understand, guys. Please just look at your horoscope. Those who have marital discord, those who have marital problems in their life, those who have unnecessarily conflicts in their married life, and highly just disturbed in their married life, if there is any aspect of Jupiter on the 7th house, you will never get separated from your life partner, come what may. Whether you guys living like hell, you are living under one roof, and you will be living under one roof throughout the life, you would never get separated from your life partner. Jupiter is one of the most important planet that will tell you whether you guys will give divorce or you won't. Because Jupiter finally makes you always eager that what next, what will happen at the next level. So this lady, she has never been separated from her husband, and she continued to have relationships, and she was enjoying her life, and she had never been caught red-handed. Just because one more thing that you can see that in the chart, Ketu happens to be in the 6th house, and Jupiter happens to be in the 1st house. Because Jupiter expands the things, and Jupiter, when has any connection with the ascendant, so the native seems to be not as bad as people think of. So people can just trust this lady, and she will never let the people know that she is going through some extramarital affairs. It can also be seen in the chart. So Jupiter plays an important role, and it's a major role in the chart. And you can see that Ketu is also aspecting Venus. In my previous webcast, I have just explained to you a horoscope of a Cancer ascendant. There was a guy, I just told you he had Venus Ketu combination in the chart. It becomes quite impossible for people to just know the extramarital affair or to catch the person red-handed if there is any connection in between Venus and Ketu. Venus is sensual pleasure, and Ketu increases the chances of that particular house or the planet wherever it happens to be, and whatever planet happens to be with Ketu. So Venus Ketu is very mysterious planet. Ketu is a mysterious planet. Ketu is a CID, like just like a CBI. So Ketu is a very mysterious planet. When Ketu happens to be with Venus, so the relationships will always be very secret. The person himself or herself would be very secretive. The person would never ever reveal her relationships to anybody else, until unless that the person who would never come to know that what is happening in her life. So she has the Venus has been afflicted by malefics. There is a aspect of Ketu on the Venus sitting with Rahu, and the ascendant is highly afflicted by the malefics. Both the sides you can see that Saturn and Rahu, both the sides you can just see that ascendant is highly afflicted, moon is highly afflicted. Moon happens to be in the Papkatri, ascendant happens to be in the Papkatri, nakshatra happens to be in the Swati nakshatra, and Ketu also happens to be in Revati nakshatra, which is again Mercury's nakshatra, and Mercury becomes the lord of the 12th house. So you guys can see that most of the planets happen to be in the Swati nakshatra. Even Ketu happens to be in the Revati nakshatra, which is 12th lord Mercury. So you cannot even just find out that this lady will do such activities in her life. So guys, you can just not find out easily. These people can never be caught red-handed, and you cannot even just catch them, because Jupiter is responsible for this. And when Jupiter happens to be in the first house, so person is not as innocent as people think of, but Jupiter hides everything. Jupiter takes the responsibility of each and every evil deed and will never let the person get into trouble, and will always protect or give the providential help to the native. Thanks for watching my channel. Please keep watching my channel for more videos. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. God bless you.